Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Gioglio, and I am a blogger and YouTuber that goes by the name the SavvyBostonian, except I live in London now. Discuss. But because I now live in London, there's nothing that I love more than getting to actually explore more of the UK. So today I'm going to take you on a day trip to Dover Castle, which is actually the largest castle in England. It was founded in the 11th century, and it was actually has a nickname, or I guess credited as the key to England due to its defensive significance throughout time. So Dover Castle has an incredibly rich history. It's supposed to have beautiful grounds, and we're also going to plan some other bits and bobs while there, which I will share in follow-up videos. So if that sounds good to you, if you want to see what it's like inside Dover Castle, learn a bit more about the history, and have some kind of tips from me on how to plan your trip to Dover Castle, this is the video for you. Are you ready? Let's jump in. Upon arrival to Dover Castle, I was so struck by its beauty. Walking up into kind of the property, you really feel like you're stepping back in time. You walk through the entry gates and just this beautiful stone facade surrounded by just so much greenery, and you have kind of a hint of the view of the ocean. It's a really, really wonderful kind of and dramatic entry. Okay, so after a bit of wandering, we made our way over to the Great Tower. So the Great Tower is kind of one of the top sights you can see within the Dover Castle complex. And before we actually went in to climb the tower itself, we went into an exhibition room. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do this before you actually go into the castle, because they actually have kind of a little exhibition. Well, I guess not so little. There's a video that takes you into kind of the king's royal court, as well as the history, kind of the drama, the scandal, the intrigue of kind of what life was like at Dover Castle, as well as kind of the role the castle has played in kind of British history over time. So I do actually highly recommend that you go into that room, that you sit through the entire video. It's not that long. After our time at the exhibition, it was time to scale the tower. This is kind of a word to the wise if you're coming with those that are kind of less able to climb stairs, or with young children. It is kind of this kind of wide stone spiral staircase. It is a lot of stairs, and if you're not that able to climb, it might be difficult for you. Obviously, you could just explore. It's kind of the ground floor if you don't want to climb all the way up, but I do highly recommend doing that if you're able to, because it really is fantastic. So climbing aside, what I really liked is that on each level, there are super knowledgeable guides. They showed us kind of like history, kind of fun facts that you might not know, as well as really talking to us about life and what it was like during specific time periods of the castle. And I found everyone on each floor that kind of works for Dover Castle to be so friendly, so helpful, so knowledgeable, and just really, you know, excited to have a conversation with you, to answer any of your questions. They didn't make us feel silly about any of the questions that we had. I didn't want to share kind of every single thing and all of the detail about the castle in depth in this video, because I really want to kind of give you a taste for what you can see and hopefully encourage you to get to go visit the wonderful site yourself. After climbing the Great Tower, we had worked up a little bit of hunger. You know, maybe there were some scones and clotted cream that needed to be in our future, like now. So we made our way into kind of the grounds area of the property, and we stopped at the cafe, which is super lovely. They have kind of all the food options you could ever dream of: sweet, savory, hearty, light. Really great place to kind of stop, and we enjoyed a little break for tea and pastries. And then we made our way over to the rest of the grounds. And I have to say, the grounds at Dover Castle are just beautiful. Especially if you were there with kind of young kids, there's plenty of kind of wide green spaces for people to kind of run around, have fun. We saw people kind of sitting on benches and reading, enjoying little picnics. So definitely is the kind of place where you could really spend a day. After exploring the grounds, we made our way over to a part of the kind of castle complex that has the oldest surviving lighthouse in the world. It's not actually something you can really kind of climb up in and stuff, but very cool to see. And then right next to it is a historic Anglo-Saxon church called St. Mary in Castro. It's been wonderfully refurbished, and I definitely recommend checking that out as well. Okay, so my final thoughts on Dover Castle. Well, we didn't get to see every single element of the castle and its grounds. I still highly recommend a day trip here. It's England's oldest castle, and it's played such an important role from the 11th century on in kind of British history. Whether you're from the UK or you're just a tourist to England, it's definitely something you should consider seeing. You can combine it with kind of other kind of sightseeing day trips in the area. We also went to go up to the White Cliffs of Dover and Canterbury Cathedral in the same day. So there's a lot you can kind of actually do in the area of Kent. So I highly recommend it. I will put links below to kind of all the details on Dover Castle, admission, entry, things to see. So hopefully you can kind of plan your trip accordingly. And as always, I would love it if you could leave a comment, ask any questions below, hit the like button because that certainly helps this channel. And if you did enjoy this video, please subscribe to my channel for more travel and lifestyle videos. Thanks again for tuning in.